Sounds from Hell is said to have been recorded from the world's deepest borehole, known as the Kola Borehole or the Kola Ultra Deep Borehole, a classified site with a scientific priority located on the Kola Peninsula. On May 24, 1970, in the northwestern part of the Kola Peninsula, Murmansk region, USSR, a special secret geological project began, which is said to have led to some of the most mysterious discoveries made in the deepest hole ever dug. Discoveries that completely change our knowledge of planet Earth up to this point. The revelations also raise a conspiratorial question that remains shrouded in mystery to this day. Have we opened the door to hell? We will find the answer in this video. The beginning of the project was given in 1962 by the Interdepartmental Scientific Council of the USSR for the study of the interior of the Earth and ultra-deep drilling. A special geological expedition was created for the selection of the site, the research of which ended in 1965 with the selection of the Murmansk region on the Kola Peninsula. The main tasks set before the team are to identify the characteristics of geological processes and phenomena, including mineralization, study of the boundaries between the layers of the Earth's crust, and data on the composition and state of the material. The place was not chosen by chance. It is located on the Baltic Shield, where ancient volcanic rocks about 3 billion years old are available near the surface. The multi-kilometer section of the layers will be a visual history of the planet for the last 3 billion years. The Earth is said to be 4.5 billion years old. Based on seismological data, a section of the Earth's crust is created, which serves to prepare a forecast by scientists about the layers through which the drill is expected to pass. After 5 years of construction and site preparation, real drilling operations began in 1970. It was more difficult to get you to work on the Kola Superdeep, as the residents of the village call the drilling well, than to get you in the cosmonaut squad. Out of 100 applicants, they chose only one. Together with the job appointment order, the lucky ones received accommodation and a salary equal to that of the 3rd to 4th Moscow professors. 16 research laboratories, each the size of a medium-sized factory, were simultaneously working on the well. Only the Germans dug the Earth with such tenacity, but according to the Guinness Book, the deepest German borehole is almost twice as short as the Russian one. Distant galaxies have been studied by mankind better than what lies beneath the Earth's crust a few kilometers away from us. The Kola Superdeep is a kind of telescope into the mysterious inner world of the planet. In 4 years from the beginning, a depth of 7,263 meters was reached with a simple installation, also used in oil extraction. Then it was replaced by the development of a device unique for its time, Uralmash 15,000, in which only the drill bit at the end of the shaft rotates in the hole. The probe itself is an iron cylinder with diamond or hard alloy teeth called a crown. It is the crown that cuts into the rock by digging a narrow corridor. Maybe by now, since we've been talking about the trench, you've been imagining something like a tunnel wide enough for a normal-sized person to crawl through. Nothing of the kind. The width of the drilled hole is about 22 centimeters. It is possible to collect pieces of rock along the entire length of the excavation through a pipe in the turbine, which together with the drilling mud ascend to the surface. Thanks to this technology, amazing things have been discovered, which we will get to in a moment. From October 1976 to March 1981, in conditions of high temperature operation of the facility, the second stage was completed, namely, the 10-kilometer limit was passed, reaching 10,636 meters from the surface. On June 6, 1979, the then record depth of 9,500 and 83 meters recorded at the Bertha Rogers oil well in Oklahoma, USA, was surpassed. When the third stage was carried out from April 1981 to 1983, the probe was already more than 12,000 meters underground. With this, the limit of the lowest point, even in the world ocean, was crossed, the Mariana Trench with its 11,022 meters. The high-tech apparatus makes it possible to determine the physical processes that take place in the lower layers of the Earth's crust. Everything seems to be going well, and the whole mission looks set to be a resounding success. On September 27, 1984, Planet Earth seemed to refuse to cooperate with the mission any longer, and the biggest accident in the process occurred. After a 30-foot hole, the team set about pulling the 200-ton column out of the hole, a routine operation that took about 18 hours. They exert sufficient thrust, but it does not budge until the devices report a sharp drop in weight and its lightening. In the subsequent removal and disassembly in individual sections, it becomes clear that 5 kilometers of pipes are stuck deep in the bowls, together with the shaft and the head. Thus, in practice, 5 years of excavation work was lost, starting again from the 7th kilometer. At this extreme depth, along with the crossing of different layers, bends of the pipes towards less strong rock types begin to occur, and with each measurement, deviations greater than the permissible are found. This necessitates a continuous effort to correct the probe using special deflectors. Accidents often occur, accompanied by the loss of equipment, which necessitates starting a new borehole. These factors have a significant impact on the rate of drilling. It took 6 years to overcome the consequences of the accident in 1984. In 1990, the maximum of 12,262 meters was reached. After the several accidents that followed, it became clear that no more digging could be done, even with the help of the most modern technologies. The project was frozen in 1992. Officially, in the process of work, several theories about the construction of the planet Earth have been disproved. The researchers expected there to be a transition from granite to basalt between the 3rd and 6th kilometers, judging by the fast propagating seismic waves, suggesting the beginning of a basalt basement. Such has not been observed. Instead, intense heat and pressure were reported. The presence of water filling the fissures at such a depth also turns out to be a surprise. The many microscopic fossils at a depth of 6 to 7 kilometers are also an unexpected find, and quite preserved despite the heat and pressure. According to scientists, the temperature at 12 kilometers below ground level should have reached 100 degrees Celsius, but in practice, it is 180 degrees Celsius, and it is assumed that at 15 kilometers depth, it would be in the order of 300 degrees Celsius. In the process of research, a huge amount of spatio-temporal and geological information was processed and summarized. The physical field of the Earth has been studied, crystalline substances. Their origin and evolution over time have been analyzed. One of the most important goals was also fulfilled: to compile a complete picture of the entire depth of the probe. The largest collection of samples was created, described, and put together piece by piece in 900 chests. So far, however, with the official version, all sorts of stories have swirled around the project for years, including one that a recording device was lowered into the borehole to record the sound of the Earth's moving plates. Instead, however, the scientists involved in this task heard something that shocked them. What happened according to Viktor Azakov, project manager? When they reached 12,262, they lowered a special microphone to the bottom to record the sounds of the movements in the bowls of the Earth. Instead, however, according to what they said at the time, they heard human screams down there. As a communist, I don't believe in heaven or the Bible, But as a scientist, I already believe in hell. Needless to say, we were really shocked by such a discovery. We lowered a microphone into the hole to record the sound of the movement of lithospheric plates. But instead of the plates moving, we heard human voices screaming in pain. At first, we thought the sound was produced by our own drilling rig. But then, when we carefully examined the equipment again, our worst suspicions were confirmed. Shouts, screams and screams of people. They screamed, cried, and the groans of millions of people could be heard, says Viktor Azakov, the head of the Kola Ultra-Deep Borehole project. After the death of Azakov and the collapse of the USSR, his grandson discovered a copy of this phenomenal recording in his grandfather's house, and thus the voices from hell became public knowledge. The audio recording of the drilling can be easily found and listened to on the internet. But we have not found a source that can confirm its authenticity. For this reason, we refrain from posting or linking to unreliable sources. Most people think that the Kola Ultra-Deep Borehole is really the gateway to hell. The decision to close the well is based on a lack of funding. In 2008, the site's equipment was dismantled due to moral and physical obsolescence beyond repair, and the service buildings were demolished. There are reports of other workers who participated in the drilling, telling amazing and strange stories. For example, the rope broke several times, as if some force was pulling it down. When the drilling tool was removed from the hole, it was several times found to be semi-molten, although the temperature at the depth reached could not have caused such a condition. After the drilling tool reached the set mark, the project was completed only after 2 years. Many of the employees of this project say that during work there was an explosion, after which a strange fog rose from the depths of the well, which struck fear into the hearts of people. Whether all this is true, we cannot confirm or deny. It's just the other side of the story that everyone's talking about, and we're presenting it. To date, there are about 25 ultra-deep wells, most of which are located in the republics of the former USSR. It would be interesting if you could share in the comments what other projects you can think of whose participants again tell stories about strange phenomena during their work. Astronomers, philosophers and writers have talked about the existence of planets outside our solar system for centuries. This dates back to the time of the heliocentric concept of the universe, when Giordano Bruno put forward the idea that stars were actually cosmic objects similar to our Sun, and as such could be hosts to other planetary systems. These days, Japanese astronomers analyzed data from the Kepler Space Telescope and discovered 15 new exoplanets. At the same time, scientists claim that one of them is an exact copy of our Earth. The only difference between the two planets is size. Earth's twin, if we can call it that, was named K2155. The planet is almost twice the size of ours. At the same time, it is located in the so-called habitable zone of stars and is said to have oceans and Earth's atmosphere. Our calculations show that this planet should have a terrestrial atmosphere and a similar subsoil structure, but we cannot yet confirm this. We know little about planets orbiting red dwarfs because the number of these stars is significantly smaller than the total number of planets discovered by Sun-like stars, commented Terayuki Hirono of the Tokyo Institute of Technology. Before we continue, let's open a brief parenthesis and clarify what exoplanets are. Exoplanets or extrasolar planets are the planets that orbit other stars, not our Sun. For the first exoplanet discovery in 1988 and confirmed much later in 1995, considered a planet 51b from Pegasus. 30 years after that discovery, research, as of August 1, 2018, has confirmed the existence of 3,815 exoplanets found in 2,053 star systems. It is statistically estimated that about 1 in 5 Sun-like stars has an Earth-like exoplanet in the habitable zone. That is, at a suitable distance from the parent star to allow the existence of such an atmospheric pressure on the surface of the exoplanet that there is liquid water there. Among the exoplanets, there are those with surface temperatures reaching thousands of degrees Kelvin, and there are also real icy worlds. Most attention is paid to exoplanets that are located in the habitable zones of their parent stars. On these planets, there is a chance to create conditions suitable for the emergence of life. The rapidly developing science of astrobiology deals with general questions about the origin and detection of signs of life on exoplanets. On March 6, 2009, NASA launched the Kepler Exoplanet Hunter into space. The Space Telescope is considered one of the best scientific instruments mankind has ever had. Kepler is responsible for 70% of the extrasolar planets found so far. $600 million has been invested in the telescope to search for Earth-like planets in the Milky Way. Its initial mission included observations of 150,000 stars, resulting in the confirmation of over 2,300 exoplanets. After a breakdown in 2013, the satellite had to be stabilized to continue operation. The scientists were able to remotely fix it, and so the second part of the mission, named K2, was launched. The Exoplanet Hunter also began observing cosmic phenomena during its 80-day campaigns before sending the data back to Earth. NASA summarizes that the Kepler mission has exceeded expectations dozens of times and leaves a legacy of more than 2,600 confirmed exoplanets. The telescope has opened the eyes of scientists to how great a variety of planets there are outside the solar system. His findings suggest that between 20 and 50% of visible stars in the sky have planets orbiting them. At the same time, they are rocky and are located in the habitable zone. Like the Earth around the Sun, scientists recall that Kepler is based on an extremely innovative design. It is one of the best scientific tools mankind has ever had. On October 30, 2018, NASA officially announced that Kepler is retiring and will no longer operate. The reason is that the fuel he needs to continue making scientific discoveries has run out. For this, the American agency decided to leave the device in a stable orbit far from the Earth, so the Space Telescope passes the baton to TESS. Successfully launched on April 19, 2018, its task is not just to look for exoplanets, but to find ones at closer distances than us. They are intended to be studied more thoroughly by the next James Webb Space Telescope, which was successfully launched into orbit on December 25, 2021. The first scientific studies began in early 2022. The Space Telescope cost almost $10 billion. We can jokingly say that the new satellite will knock on neighbors' doors to see if anyone is home. Thanks to the Kepler telescope, several dozen worlds with potential habitable planets like Earth have been discovered, located in the so-called habitable zone of their suns. A discovery that forced astrobiologists to begin developing methods to assess the habitability of their atmospheres as well. Before Kepler's accident, only a small part of the space located in the constellations Cygnus and Lyra was studied. After the telescope was repaired, different areas of the sky were observed, and NASA specialists had to constantly rotate it so that sunlight did not enter the lens. However, as part of the K2 mission, Kepler has already discovered many new planets. As for Hirono and his team, their work is focused on analyzing the data collected by the telescope in the first 3 years after its resurrection. The researchers note that they are interested not in celestial bodies that revolve around sun-like stars, but in red dwarfs, small semi-dim stars that live very long compared to other types of stars, and which are distinguished by their quiet nature, although they can also sometimes cause surprises. In recent years, astronomers have discovered several star systems and exoplanets. This number also includes Proxima b and 7 small stars in the star TRAPPIST-1. Hirono said Kepler was originally designed to search for planets around bright, large stars, which complicated the search for faint red dwarfs whose brightness barely changes as their moons pass in front of their sun's disk, reducing its brightness, illumination. Combining data collected by Kepler and ground-based observatories, operating in the infrared and optical ranges provides the solution to the observational problem. Scientists can now determine which dips in brightness are caused by the planets and which are caused by processes occurring in the stars themselves. As a result, Japanese astronomers discovered only 15 new Earth-like celestial bodies. They all orbit their suns at a very short distance. A year on their surface lasts from 1 to 40 days. According to scientists, almost all discovered planets are unlikely to support life. The temperature and climate should resemble those of Venus. The only exception to the list is the K2155 system. It is located in the constellation Taurus and is located about 260 light-years from Earth. There are only 3 super-Earths in it, the most distant of them, K2155, and is located in the central part of the habitable zone. According to scientists, it should be similar in its climate and hydrological conditions to Earth. All of these assumptions, Hirono says, will be possible to test using the data collected by the TESS telescope. The device is able to obtain the first accurate data on the composition and temperature of these planets and will check whether it is a full-fledged, big sister of the Earth. What do we know so far about the potential new Earth? K2155 is an extraterrestrial extrasolar planet orbiting the red dwarf star K2155, which is 88% less massive than the Sun. The planet is located about 267 light-years from Earth. It is being pegged as a potentially habitable planet, which is supposed to have abundant water. K2155 has a rocky body similar to Earth. Its radius is 1.6 times that of Earth. Its orbital period is about 40 days. The planet's radius falls between that of smaller rocky planets and larger gas-rich planets. Her physical temperature is estimated at 16 degrees Celsius or 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Astronomers have identified K2155 as a potentially habitable planet because it orbits in its star's habitable zone and has the potential to contain liquid water. They created a 3D climate simulation to find out if there could be water on the surface of K2155, which showed impressive results. Additionally, however, the planet has been listed as potentially harboring possible extraterrestrial life. So we literally have to first check if someone lives on it and who it might be. Thousands of other similar planets have been discovered, but K2155 has the highest hopes for now because of its supposed great similarity to our planet. Could this discovery be the key to solving our planet's overpopulation problem? Could it be that we are on the threshold of discovering new worlds and civilizations? And a perhaps not so pleasant question: is this discovery good or bad? A question provoking many more. However, everything is still in the realm of probability. But one thing is certain: we don't know space. We have only stepped outside the threshold of our gate, and we are discovering things we did not expect. And what is there far away? Worlds, galaxies, and maybe things we don't even have words for yet, because we don't know they even exist. If you liked this video, help us grow the channel by sharing it with a friend.